So this year's results in comparison to previous years, if we isolate Black Friday, we actually see that there was a traffic decline of 16% and a sales decline of 14.1%. Now, when looking at the Thanksgiving holiday overall, it's very important to include the entire weekend as a whole and compare that year-over-year comparison. So when we look at those 4 days, we actually see that traffic fell by 12.4% and sales fell by 10.7%. I think the good news here is that conversion, average transaction value, and sales per shopper all increased, and that indicates that consumer confidence has increased. So once consumers enter stores, they're actually more willing and dedicated to making a purchase. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that digital promotions and Cyber Monday deals began earlier prior to the holiday. So we had less people coming in and more people focusing on the e-commerce world and purchasing online. And again, it's very important to look at the holiday season as a whole and combine the November and December holiday period months, which we imagine are going to be improving as the holiday season goes on.
Yeah, what I think is really interesting is that Black Friday really saw a sharp decline in traffic, and I think there's a couple reasons for that. One is we're seeing kind of a shifting shopping behavior from the consumer, one of which is this is no longer event-specific driven shopping. So in the past, people shop Cyber Monday, they shop Black Friday. I think today what's changed significantly really is now it's become a 5-day event where customers are really shopping the entire event over a 5-day period. Personally, I think it's great news for retailers because retailers in the past have always struggled with this sharp peak in demand, especially from a traffic standpoint on Black Friday with doorbusters, where they didn't have enough staffing. They couldn't replenish the stores fast enough to really kind of handle this peak of demand. I think this spreading it out over the 5 days actually delivers a better shopping experience for the customer. The other side of that is will those sales be made up as we get into December?
Given the slow start to the beginning season, we actually are fairly positive about how the holiday season will end this year. We anticipate that traffic will decline by 4%, sales will remain flat, conversion and average transaction value and sales per shopper will potentially all increase.
There's a couple really relevant retail trends that I've seen coming out of Thanksgiving going into December. I think one of the biggest trends is really this convergence of digital and physical, and the brands that are really successful, that are doing well, are really figuring out ways to merge those two different channels together. I think a second really great trend from a consumer perspective is really pricing transparency. I think that there's been more consistency with pricing online and offline, which I think is a huge win, not just for consumers, but retailers as well. And I think the third biggest trend coming out of Thanksgiving and going into December from retailers is really this engagement level. So brands that are being really successful are engaging their shoppers either through inspirational signings or messaging, or some type of enabling technology that really has that consumer participating in the event. So for example, some type of offer that comes through on a digital device. It could be any type of gamification, scratch off cards, that type of thing. So I think those are really the big trends going into December.
So this year, Christmas actually falls on a Thursday. And it's an advantageous day for that to happen because generally we see when a holiday falls on Thursday, we see a massive traffic spike on that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we anticipate that shopper patterns will be very positive going through the end of the year.
I think one of the biggest events this year is going to be that post-Christmas shopping experience. I think from a customer perspective, there'll be lots of sales, as there always is. I think what retailers can do to help, again, with that profit margin is really showcasing, not only what's on promotion and, you want to turn over, obviously you want to turn out of the Christmas merchandise and the cold weather merchandise, but also maybe even introducing what's going to happen in spring, what's happening, what are some new resort products. So anytime you can kind of have a balance between here's what's happening in spring, here are the trends coming up with promotional, your goal ultimately is to get that customer to buy lots of sales stuff because you want to get out of that merchandise, but also, try to sell some regular price merchandise, fun, exciting trends that are coming down the pipe. Retailers that are winning are the ones that are combining the digital to physical. They're doing some type of engagement, inspirational, whether it's through mobile devices, QR codes, inspirational dressing, or any type of gamification are winning. And last but not least are the ones that really have a very strong promotional strategy of, for the long haul. What's their pricing, strategy for the long haul of the holiday?